I am hope. I am hopeful. I have hope for myself, for my others, for the trees, the flowers, plants, animals, humanity as a whole, the mass consciousness, our planet, for the universes. I am hopeful. I believe in miracles. I am hopeful. I know things can change. All things change. I am hopeful. I have hope in Source God. So it is uttered. So it is. Hello, guys. Welcome to this series of 30 Days, 30 Life. And today I am reading for you the mantra number 16 from the book The I Am Mantras by Elliot L. Jackson. And today's mantra is I am hope. As you already know the concept, first I read the mantra and then I give to you my own understanding of the text. I am hope. By giving us all those 20 mantras, Source is actually giving us the way, the tools to actually remember how magnificent we are. And Source is telling us that by saying every day one of these mantra, if not all, those mantra are going to end up being embedded in the being living inside of us. And thus we are going to start living a life based on those mantra that we have been reading, basically, right? And if you're not new, if you've been watching these videos, then you already know that every day as soon as I wake up, I read a mantra, and before going to bed, I read also a mantra. And now that I'm going live every day, well, I happen to read it more than twice a day, which is actually cool, because I'm in this game to be happy, change my life for the best, and then impact the masses. Here we start. I am hope. I am hopeful. I have hope for myself, for my others, other human beings, for the trees, flowers, plants, animals, humanity as a whole, the mass consciousness, our planet, for the universes. So basically, Source is saying you have but no choice to have hope in everything, in all there is. That's basically what they're saying. I even feel like he's saying it twice because the same sentence appears at the end of the mantra, just written differently. Because when Saul says, I have hope for myself, my others, so other human beings, for the trees, the flowers, the plant, Saul is basically like saying that everything, like I am hopeful. I have hope, or I have hope for everything, all there is. But and source is all there is. And I love how it's written for the universes, plural. So source is already telling you, listen, there is not just one universe. Just know there are plenty of them. I am hopeful. I believe in miracles. Remember growing up, every time miracles were being was only within the Bible, only things that would have happened thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, and that aspect only made it almost unrelatable, right? Like it's not common now to believe things such as miracles the way we heard them growing up. Like things like Yeshua, Jesus turning uh, I don't know, water into wine, stuff like that. It seems so far away that we are now wired to not believe in those things. Well, Source is coming with a big ass reminder saying, I am hopeful, I believe in miracles. I am hopeful, I know things can change. All things change. As I kept reading and reading and reading all those books that I've been gathering in this house, if there is something that Source always emphasize on is there are processes and then there are more processes. Everything is a process. Everything is a process. And as soon as you see a process, there are many processes inside that process, and there are many processes after that process. Let me take an example. The process of having your hair growing, right? That's a process. But in order for that process to happen, you have many things that happen inside your body for your hair to start growing. And as your hair keep growing, where you have other processes that are involved into that. So that's an example. All things change. Sometimes we go through difficult times, difficult moment, and sometimes you go through something and you really feel like this is it. This is the one thing that I will never be able to overcome. This feels so deep. This feels so bigger than me that this is it. This situation is going to be there and stay there forever. And then one day you wake up, it's different. Maybe it's better, maybe it's worse, but it's not the same anymore. So whenever something happens to me now, I am able to find that joy. Oh, guys, it's 1 a.m. I was about to go to bed, and then I already had my pajama on, and then I remember, oh, I didn't do a live today, so I was like, nah, there's no way I'm gonna skip this. So I put my shirt. Uh, and then one day so this is me trying to get back to my story, and then you wake up and you realize, oh, it's different. I'm not in that same spot anymore. Well, maybe it's better, maybe it's worse, but the thing is, it changed. That thing that you thought, that thing that you were so sure was never going to change, that you were going to dwell in it forever, it ended up changing. But you see, it also happened for good stuff. Sometimes you are in amazing relationship, you are in amazing dynamic with your business, at work, with your family, you know, but you forget that all things change. Nothing stays the same. In a book of Source is talking about a stone or a rock. A rock, we humans, we see a rock as something that doesn't move, right? But Source is actually explaining that the vibration happening at the rock level goes so fast, so fast that the stone itself is presented as a still object. But what we cannot see with our eyes is that you have a process of vibration that is actually happening. And then the example that Source present to us is that it's like when you are on the highway going at a certain speed, and then you have another car that comes in next to you going at a certain speed. And when you look at the wheel of that car, it's almost like uh not the wheel, but I don't know the name in English. Let me try to Google it. If I write here, translate, and then jante de la voiture. Ah non, how do you call it? In French, we call it jante. You know that thing when Exhibit and Snoop Dogs were doing stuff on MTV, you will have those things turning inside the wheel of a car. I forgot the name. So that car is coming. You're driving on the highway. That car is next to you. But because that car is at or more or less at the same speed than you, that thing that is normally turning happens almost to be still, yet it is turning. Well, that's how Source explained the process of the stone being physical, not moving, but yet vibrating at the fastest speed. All things change. I am hope for I have hope in Source God. This is exactly the same sentence than in the beginning when Source says, I have hope for myself, for my others, for the trees, flowers, plants, animals, humanity as a whole, the mass consciousness, our planet, for the universes. I feel like this mantra, I am hope, Source is basically telling me, telling you, telling us that no matter what we are currently going through, no matter what we may think, this is the end, I will never overcome. Source is basically saying that you just forgot that you are hope, that embedded deep inside of you, there is hope. If you would just but Remember it. If you would just but accept it, if you would just but allow hope to manifest itself through you, you would shift that moment that you're going through in a second. And I still believe, I still know that the way we've been raised, the way society puts so much things in our path in order for us to think that we are just the body. And as soon as we die, there is nothing else, there is nothing to be done but the body to be worshipped. I feel like the moment we start realizing that we are way, way, way more than that, man, the power that we start claiming, the shifting that starts happening, the new life, the new doors that we start opening is just mind blowing. So, of course, us always finish this mantra with the same sentence: so it is uttered, so it is, which is actually the last sentence that comes and seals everything so that the universe knows, okay, you are done with your order, and now you can start living step one and going to step three, which is raise your vibration to be able to match the vibration of the things that you just asked for. Because the steps two is the universe delivering what you ask. But the scripture says before you even ask, source would have already delivered. Okay, guys, thank you. That was it for today. I will do another live tomorrow where there I will be addressing a very specific topic. So make sure to tune in, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.